I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventors information, call 1-800-353-4716. That's 1-800-353-4716. Again, 1-800-353-4716.
From now on, the only people you need to listen to are these guys.
My Parents Open Carry, a pro-gun kids book from White Feather Press. 13-year-old Brenna and her parents spend their day in typical fashion. But what's not so typical is that Brenna's parents lawfully open carry handguns for self-defense. And the Strongs join a growing number of families who are standing up for their Second Amendment right and bringing gun ownership out of the closet. Order your copy of this unique kids book at myparentsopencarry.com.
If you support the Second Amendment, then join us Wednesday, April 13th for our annual Second Amendment March from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Capitol steps. There will be speakers, vendors, and gun right groups, as well as musical entertainment. Join your fellow patriots for a march around the Capitol Mall starting at noon. Meet with your state representatives to express your support of the Second Amendment. So bring the family, your friends, and your firearm to the Capitol Wednesday, April 13th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Visit secondamendmentmarch.com for more information.
Whenever I'm feeling a little down under, I can always count on Nate and Brian for their interesting perspective on topics important to freedom and civil rights by listening to the At Odds Show. Nate and Brian cover important topics with insight, intelligence, and of course humor. I can always expect a laugh or two. So if you want to be informed and have a great time, give these guys a listen.
And welcome back on Brian.
Oh, I love her voice.
That's Nate over there.
This is George.
Steve's over there.
George slipped in.
Steve has not been doing well the last couple weeks.
We forgot to do trivia. We're going to do it now.
Yep.
Which president was the first president whose mother was eligible to vote for him?
Oh, I know. Can I guess already?
Let's let our listeners call in. Which president was the first president whose mother was
wait
eligible?
For the first
We'll be skeletons.
Yeah, it's a bad
was
idea.
Eligible to vote for him.
It's a bad idea. Okay, so can I guess now?
Sure, you can.
George Washington.
Nope, George Washington's mother could not vote for him.
Oh.
She would if she could, I'm sure, but it wasn't legal.
George Bush?
It wasn't George Bush either. I'm feeling all there. That's much better. Thank you.
It's good because it forces you to project and talk and...
Oh, my parents open carry.
Stop doing that. You're ruining things.
Okay. Come on, another one.
I don't know. I give up. What's the answer?
When could women vote?
1952?
No.
I don't know. Coolidge?
Really, 1920s maybe?
Herbert Hoover?
That would be a really good guess.
FDR?
It was FDR. Franklin Delano Roosevelt's mommy was able to legally vote for him.
Wow.
She didn't. She was a Republican, which was good for her. But
really good for her. She did not support confiscating gold.
She had lots of gold, too.
Which, by the way, happened. So look that up.
Yeah, look up FDR and gold. Government took a lot of gold from a lot of people unlawfully. All right, what do you want to talk about, this day in history or not?
Yes,
really, more than anything?
No, this is one of the most exciting ones we've had in the last week.
It's not, but it kind of ties into...
Just do it.
All right, in 1876, on this day, was the day that these words were uttered and created history, and it was, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want you."
Oh, really?
Alexander Graham Bell summoned his assistant.
On the telephone.
He was a Scotsman, right? So I should have said, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want..." Well, I don't know what the hell kind of accent that was, but... 1847, he was a son of...
It certainly wasn't Australian, I'll tell you that.
He was son of Alexander Melvin Bell, who was a leading authority in public speaking and speech correction. And that's what Alexander Graham Bell was an expert in. He actually was a professor at Boston College. worked on speech, and he thought he could come up with the idea of transmitting sound using electronics. And he did. And what was funny was Eliza Gray was the other person that had come up with a similar idea, had filed at the patent office just a few hours after Alexander Graham Bell did. So that's the importance of timing.
Yeah.
And of course, Bell was awarded the patent, made lots of money, which became AT&T, and AT&T provides my cable television pleasure through DirecTV.
You have, yeah, I was gonna, yeah. You have the broom ready?
I have the broom ready to sweep the wet snow and rain off the dish so I can see a damn picture. Anyways,
no, it was, I mean, it was, never mind. I was going to talk about how at least it was a, never mind. Moving on.
Anyways, it was very shortly after that he tested his telephone line over 2 miles.
Wow.
Between Boston and Cambridge.
And we can almost go up to 3 now.
We can go to 3 miles pretty much without static.
Yep.
So that was this day in history. Mr. Watson, come here, I want you.
Isn't that interesting?
It was for a sexual liaison, but,
It wasn't that long ago,
he
right?
spilled acid, I think.
I mean, a couple hundred years ago?
Yeah, 1876.
Yeah. Okay. So 150 years ago, whatever. And
math is hard.
Here we are talking to millions of people,
millions
around
and millions
the world,
of people all around the world on the thing called the World Wide Web.
Right. It's crazy.
He would have been dancing in the streets.
Yeah.
Let's
probably
see.
not, but okay.
Well,
no, real quick. Go ahead, real quick, whatever.
So apparently, it took a FOIA. You know what a FOIA is? Freedom of Information Act. FOIA. It's an acronym.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Took a FOIA lawsuit to uncover from the Obama administration's their efforts to squash FOIA reform at the federal level. Because they are the most transparent.
They are very, very transparent. And so being so transparent, they see no need for any private citizen to have to request any information about the administration.
Right. It's redundant.
Yeah, so why even
don't look behind the curtain.
Why even spend time on reforming it to make it easier for everyday citizen to get information about the administration when it's the most transparent administration ever? So it makes sense. It makes sense.
Can you believe that?
They were so transparent that they were not transparent about transparency.
The good news is that Obama's lost 5 pounds over his last physical.
Really?
He's down to 175. He's 6 foot 1 inches. He grew a half an inch. I don't know how that's possible. But maybe that 5 pounds less, it relieves some pressure on his spine, and he grew a half inch.
How did he lose? He ramped up the smoking?
No, he's doing Nicorette cup. That was a little Freudian slip. Nicorette. Nate's dying over there. To smoke less. He's eating a more healthy diet, and he's exercising more. Blood pressure's down. Everything looks great. He's going to live another 100 years. Certainly will make it a next year or so. Until the end of his administration. I don't know how you grow. I mean, the guy is in his 50s, isn't he? Maybe he just hit puberty a couple of years ago. I don't know.
I believe it. He's allowed.
I don't know why you're laughing.
Ride
so
his bicycle without a helmet now.
Yeah. Which you should always ride your helmet. Ride your helmet. God. Those strokes are not helping me at all.
Did I mention
Those
we
little
still
mini
had
strokes.
half a bottle of that green label that we bought?
We do. I don't know what happened to that. Leprechaun's got half of that, I think. I don't know. Damn leprechauns. Anyways.
Wow. So here's something that shouldn't be a surprise related to transparency. The FBI, right, who was played a major role in the shooting of the
Oregon protester.
The Oregon protester. Lavoie.
Yeah.
That got
killed. Finicum or whatever.
Right, and the official report that came out said he was shot after he reached into his pocket or his coat for a loaded firearm. Three times. And then the FBI released some cell phone video from inside the car
Right, from
he was
people that were in the car, right?
And it's relatively clear that there were some shots fired, not just one or two, but like 3 shots fired at least.
Oh, more than that.
Before
he got out of the car.
Well, yeah, they were shooting before he got out of
Yeah.
the car. And then when he got out of the car, you can see, I saw a slow motion video. It's pretty convincing. He had his hands up.
Yes. And they shot at him then.
And the window shatters
Yeah.
on the car right next to him. I mean,
Now, to be honest, they did deploy non-lethal bullets, like in shotgun shells or like tear gas. Some were tear gas, and some were a hardened rubber that are used to either bruise you and are powerful enough to break windows.
and may break windows.
And that's what they were trying to do, was break windows so they could get tear gas in the car, which I think was totally unnecessary. I think if they would have somebody taken control and talked on the megaphone, the people inside appeared to be very willing to surrender. So I think, but that's not the point. The point was there were 2 shots by FBI agents,
right?
Because it was the state police that actually did the fatal shooting.
Yep.
2 shots by FBI agents that were never reported.
Yep.
And actually sounded like there was a cover-up, and that the officers got together and tried to keep it quiet.
And
so
that's an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an issue. That does not, now, that doesn't allow you to jump to the conclusion that he was murdered in cold blood, right? I don't think that's true. Yeah. But it's an issue that there was an official report put out by the federal government who this whole thing is happening because nobody trusts them.
Right.
Right?
It undermines their professionalism, and it undermines trust. There's trust issues with that.
Yeah.
So it's bad overall.
Now, what will happen is
nothing.
The officers or the agents that didn't report they fired some shots will have some paid administrative leave, maybe be fired.
No, they'll be transferred to probably Oregon.
Yeah, well, they'll get a job with a local police agency or something. But my point is, they'll take care of those guys, right? And that'll be it. They'll say, hey, this was an agent that didn't tell us the whole story, and we got rid of him. That's it. You found out. And there's not going to be any more, changes or reform or positive news that comes out of this. It's going to be that specific. It was one agent acting alone, right? It doesn't represent the agency, which is true. But the problem is, it's made up of thousands and thousands of individual agents.
Right, and a former agent was concerned not so much that they fired shots, but that they missed.
Well, that's a problem, too.
He said that these guys are supposed to be elite, highly trained, I'm assuming like sniper guys, although I don't know, and they missed.
Do you think they were scared?
No, I don't think they were scared.
You don't think so?
No. Maybe they wanted to.
You think they're just not as well trained as you think? Like a lot of police officers,
they're highly trained police officers.
You hear that all the time. Well, only the police should have guns.
They're highly trained.
I had a discussion with a guy who thinks that you shouldn't carry, if you're going to carry a firearm, fine, I guess it's okay to carry a firearm, but you shouldn't have a round in the chamber because that just exponentially increases the chance of an accident.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not true.
Police officers are very highly trained, so they
can have rounds.
They can have a round in the chamber. Also, they're more likely to encounter a situation where the extra time that it saves you to not have to chamber a round is going to be important.
Did you send the guy the video that shows why you should always have one chambered?
With the woman?
Yeah, a woman being...
Well, that's the video that
prompted
he was commenting on.
Oh,
which
good.
I agree, by the way, that video isn't a great representation of the whole situation. It's actually kind of the opposite because she knew she was going to be attacked. It's really hard to kind of, role play those things because you know what's going to happen. So she even reacted quicker than
normal.
Somebody probably would.
Yeah.
But there are certainly cases that you can imagine that aren't too crazy where the difference between being able to pull your handgun and fire it or versus having to pull it,
rack around.
Yeah, and then fire it. It could cost you your life.
Which reminds me, I bought I may or may not have acquired a new handgun.
An M&P Shield?
I'm not saying. I may have, or I may not have.
I've heard it's a little tough to